Well, good morning and welcome to Art Talks. I'm Elaine M. Bergstrom. You can find these recordings obviously on this Facebook page or YouTube page and on Instagram. So today I wanted to share a little bit about colored pencils. I am starting a new class on Tuesday. Draw what you see, and one of the things that I introduce are watercolor pencils, water soluble pencils. And the brand that I'm asking my students to purchase are the Grand Arche d'Arche Supra Color Softs. And I have many pencils and have used Prismacolors for years, and many of the other Faber-Castells. And you can see this is my little travel kit with different brand pencils. Here's the Faber-Castells, Derwent's, and they're kind of grouped together. So he keeps them a little bit organized for me. These are the water soluble pencils. So I think what's nice about water soluble pencils is it can introduce someone to drawing and using a wet medium at the same time. Just going to change my view for a second. There we go. And so what's nice about that is, you can draw and paint. They're very portable. They're wonderful. But what I found for a long time was the scratchiness of the water-soluble pencils, and they didn't blend. They still had more of a drawing quality than a watercolor. So I wanted to just share with you these colors. And when I teach watercolors, I teach what they call a limited palette with 2 yellows, 2 blues, and 2 reds. So this is a nice set because it has 6 basic colors that I can teach with and keep true to my theory of warm and cool colors. So this is my cool yellow, and just gonna kind of scratch it out here. There are certain pencil techniques of actually how to use the pencil and apply it, but we'll get this down quickly. So even though this is an orange, we can use it for a warm yellow. And there's lots of color choices. So one of the things that you want to look for is the softness of the color. And if they have open stop, because let's say you use one of the colors more than the other, if you can't go by just that one pencil, it's tough. So what I did like about the, I just repeated, that's okay. What I do like about the Prismacolors, even though the water solubles are limited, they do have all different types. They have very thins, which are really hard. They're great for drawing lines, and they have the sticks, which are wonderful. So you can use, water soluble, very thin sand sticks together in your artwork. But what I found is that they had more of a limited water soluble palette. So this has some texture to it, this paper. A lot of times I like using hot press. I'm just going to wet my brush and just wet the right side of each color. So look how smoothly that goes and how pretty intense it is. And it's a little orange, but it has some nice yellow in it. This is my cool red because it has more blue in it. My warm red, it's definitely got more yellow, or I say orange. So you want to be able to, if you can limit yourself and learn about the colors, that's great. Just like in watercolors, we need to learn how we can mix those colors. And technique I teach in watercolors is glazing, where you're putting one layer on top of the other after it's dry. So this is a beautiful palette. And I still have, purple and green, obviously, in there. And I like to teach how to make blacks with watercolors and create your own browns, make your own secondary colors, which are your greens, purples, and oranges. So it's nice that it's in this set, but I'd like you to layer. And one of the points I was trying to make is that glazing is layering. And in colored pencil, there's some artists who can put 15 layers of colored pencil on top. And it's how you apply it, because if you press really hard to fill in the grooves of the paper right away, you get this wax built up with a regular pencil, and then you can't layer. So there's some tricks to the trade. So I thought that would kind of help you. And then I put some extra little boxes over here. So I know that oranges tend to make brown. So I'm going to layer, and I'm going really quick on here. But usually we make 1/16 of an inch with our circles, which you'll learn in class. And I'm going to take my cool blue on this side, and you can see just by layering, I'm already getting a brown. It's really a nice dark brown as well. And then I'm going to take my cool blue on this side, and if I squint, they look pretty close right now. So let's go ahead and put some cool red over that. Let's see. So that's it, kind of dry. And if I add a little water, let's do, I get almost like a burnt sienna there, which is beautiful. Always clean out your brush, and let's do that. So it gives me a little variety with the color, more like a burnt umber type there. So let me just shut off video. There you go. So maybe you can see it. It's a little more red, and that was using, I believe, the warm red that was warm with, I want to say, this one's the cool, and then this one is the warm red with the warm blue, just to kind of keep track of things. So it's really great because you can really apply little things. So let's just try over here, my cool red. And color theory really is important with art to know warm and cool colors. You don't need a whole lot of supplies if you understand these things. So look at the pretty purple it's already turning into. Now I know if I use my warm red instead of, I'll get a little bit different shades. So normally some people would think this is more of a pinky tone, but we consider it. So by adding edit, really fills in. It kind of goes a little bit. Now, if I added a little bit of the warm red, let's just on top of that, it can even change it a little bit more, just so you can see the variations of the colors. So I wanted to show you that, and you know, I always say work with a battery-operated sharpener at home, but this little Faber-Castell sharpener works really well. You have to be careful of some of these sharpeners because they will chew up your pencils. And what I like is usually getting a point. Some artists, you know, use a knife and scrape, but it gives me a pretty good point. Sometimes I really want a nice hard edge. So let's just take our watercolor brush and let's just wet the side. And since we added some warm red, just to kind of show you the variations of color, and we're not using that many pencils. So have fun playing with them. Try out different packets of different watercolors, but I do like these right now. And what I've done here is you probably can't see it, but it's a little tree in a pot. And I sketched up a little branch just to kind of show you. So it's kind of got like a white, grayish, brownish bark. So how do I get that light color? So I'm going to start with a little bit of my warm yellow or orange. And I'm not going to put too much on here. And I'm going to blend it out. This way you can kind of start seeing where I put my lines at least. These pencils are so creamy that they do blend like watercolor. And I am working on a watercolor paper. I'm just lifting this with clean water. Just drop in some blue. And it's probably going to go more green. If I didn't want realistic colors, that would be fine. So I'm going to go back and add some red to it. And blend it in. It's really, I need the warm red in this palette to get it. It's getting a little scratchy. So I'm gonna kind of push that in. But I'm starting to get a little bit more of a brown tone that I want. Just getting a paper towel on there. And it's bleeding. I'm gonna just kind of lift it. Now, in the video, it looks like a nice soft brown, ironically. So what's nice is you can see that you can still add, but once it's wet, it looks a little bit scratchier. And now to add some of my blue in there to deepen it. So it's a little wet right now. And let's Let's go with this little branch here. Now, you can use water-soluble pencils by dipping the tips in water as well. But once it's so wet like that, you can't use it dry. So I don't typically like to do that. I have to really push it, and it's kind of blending, but on the video it actually looks nice and dark. But it's a little kind of purpley looking right now. So go in and add a little bit of orange to it. And I'm losing some of my lines. Just gonna take my pencil. Kind of clean it up a little bit. And have, there's another branch kind of coming out. But I wanted you to be able to kind of, see what's out there, because when you go to the store, it can be really overwhelming. And there's some wonderful pencils called graphitins I really like to use, and they look like they're very natural looking. They kind of have what I would say like earthy tones to them. So I'm just taking the pencil just so you can maybe see a little bit more of the shape of the tree. Play with it. And it's a beautiful day where I live today. Maybe some of you can get out and do some sketching. Here, it's kind of coming to life a little bit there, but obviously there's some things, but I don't mind the color. I always like color in the piece. And then down here is kind of a mossy, well, I guess more of an olive green. So I know that if I take my warmer colors, let's just try to add, put some of this in there, which is the orange, with my cooler blue. And of course I can use it dry. Since I like painting, it's very fun for me to paint. But what's nice is it's picking up, different tones, and I could, blend them in, but it kind of makes it rather exciting. without even having to layer or plan. So I hope this will inspire you to get some pencils for the summer and take them with you while you're traveling. And play. So I'm going to stop right here. If you're interested in classes, please contact me on my email page. And please follow me, like me, and share this with others. I do have my evolving art community. If you send me an email to Elaine at elainembbergstrom.com, I will send you the Zoom link. It actually starts in a couple minutes. So have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your pencils.